Here's a question that trips up almost everyone trying to get their finances in order. Should you throw every extra dollar into investing right now because time in the market beats timing the market? Or should you sit on 6 months of cash before you invest a single dollar, just to be safe? Most people pick one of those two extremes, and both of them are wrong. The truth is, your emergency fund isn't one number you're either above or below. It's built in stages, and each stage unlocks a different move you're allowed to make next. Skip a stage, and you're either dangerously exposed to the next surprise bill, or you're sitting on a pile of cash that's quietly losing value, while your money could have been growing somewhere else. My name is Sammy, and today we're breaking down the actual staged order for building an emergency fund so you know exactly how much to save, where to keep it, and when it's finally time to move on to the next thing. If you caught the last video about getting a full paycheck ahead, this is exactly what that breathing room is for. So stick around, and if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss what we build on top of this. Let's start with the reframe, because this is where almost everyone gets stuck. An emergency fund isn't a single target you're either above or below. It's staged, meaning there's a first amount that protects you from small disasters, a second amount that protects you from medium ones, and a third amount that protects you from losing your income entirely. Each stage is enough for a specific category of bad luck, and once you've cleared a stage, that specific risk is handled and you move to the next priority, whether that's the next stage of the fund or something else entirely, like investing. Treating it as one big number is exactly what causes people to either give up halfway through because 6 months of expenses feels impossibly far away, or overshoot wildly, sitting on a year of cash because they never defined when enough was actually enough.
You remember Jordan from the last video, the one who finally got a full paycheck ahead using the buffer and automation system we walked through. Well, Jordan's now sitting on that gap, a few $100s that isn't claimed by anything urgent for the first time in years. And the natural next question Jordan has is simple. What do I do with this now? Do I invest it? Do I keep saving? Is this the emergency fund now? Or is there more to build? That's exactly what we're answering today, stage by stage. Stage 1 is the starter fund, somewhere between $500 and $1,000. If you followed the last video, you may already have this from the paycheck ahead process, and that's not a coincidence, because these two goals share the same first move. This stage exists purely to absorb the small stuff, a flat tire, a higher than usual utility bill, a copay you didn't see coming. Without it, those small surprises turn into credit card balances, and credit card balances turn into the exact cycle we've spent the last 2 videos helping you escape. If you don't have this yet, this is where you start, full stop, before anything else on this list. Stage 2 is 1 full month of essential expenses, and this is genuinely the most important inflection point in the entire staged system. Essential expenses means rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments, the stuff that doesn't stop just because your income does. Not your full lifestyle spending, just the floor. For Jordan, whose essentials run around $2,200 a month, that's the stage 2 target. Once you hit 1 full month, something changes. You're no longer living reactively to every bill that shows up. You have an actual month of slack between a bad event and a real crisis. This is the stage where most people should pause and ask a different question before continuing to stage 3, and we'll get to that question in a minute. Stage 3 is the range everyone's heard of, 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, but almost nobody explains how to pick where in that range you actually land. So let's fix that. If you have stable employment, a dual income household, or a skill set that's easy to reemploy quickly, you lean toward the 3-month end. If you're the sole income for your household, work in a volatile industry, or have dependents relying on that income specifically, you lean towards 6. Jordan is single income, but works in a fairly stable field, so a reasonable target lands around 4 months, somewhere in the middle rather than defaulting to either extreme. There's no universal right answer here, but there is a wrong approach, and it's picking 6 months by default without asking whether your actual risk profile calls for it, because every extra month you sit in cash is a month that money isn't doing anything else for you.
Now, here's the mistake that trips up more people than any other part of this process, and it's an order of operations mistake, not a math mistake. If you have access to an employer 401k match or you're carrying high-interest debt like credit cards, building your full 3 to 6 month fund before capturing that match or attacking that debt is actually the wrong move. Here's why. Getting your full employer match is free money, typically an instant 50 to 100% return, something no savings account will ever pay you. And high-interest debt is quite literally the opposite direction, bleeding you 20% or more a year, while your fund sits there earning a fraction of that. The correct order is stage 1 buffer first, always. Then employer match up to whatever your company offers. Then high-interest debt, if you have any. Then stage 2 and stage 3 of the emergency fund. Then everything else. Building a fully stocked 6-month fund while ignoring a 24% credit card is like bailing water out of a boat that's still taking on water somewhere else. Once you know your target stage, where you actually keep the money matters just as much as how much you save. This should never sit in your regular checking account, where it blends in with spending money and quietly gets absorbed into everyday purchases. It also shouldn't be invested in the stock market, because the entire point of this money is that it has to be there, fully intact, the exact day you need it, and markets don't guarantee that on any given day. The answer is a high-yield savings account, completely separate from your checking, ideally at a different bank so it's slightly less convenient to dip into on a whim. As of right now, high-yield accounts are paying meaningfully more interest than a typical big bank savings account. So this single decision, just moving where the money physically sits, can earn you real money every single month for doing absolutely nothing extra. You'll also see people mention money market accounts or short-term CDs for this purpose, and while those can work for stage 3 specifically, a basic high-yield savings account is usually the better default for the whole staged system, because it keeps every dollar instantly accessible with no withdrawal penalty and no lockup period. And the interest rate difference compared to a CD is rarely large enough to justify losing that flexibility on money whose entire purpose is being available the moment you need it.
There's one exception worth mentioning, similar to the one we covered for irregular income in the last video. If your income is commission-based, seasonal, or genuinely unpredictable month to month, lean toward the higher end of every stage, and consider treating your stage 3 target as a full 6 months, regardless of your household situation, because the fund is doing double duty for you, covering true emergencies and smoothing out the natural dips in a variable paycheck. Let's walk through Jordan's actual staged progression so you can see the full order in practice. Jordan already built the $500 starter buffer during the paycheck ahead process from the last video, so stage 1 is already done. Next, Jordan checks with HR and confirms the employer matches 50% up to 4% of salary, so Jordan bumps 401k contributions up to capture that full match before touching anything else. Jordan has no high-interest debt currently, so that step gets skipped entirely this time, straight through to stage 2. From there, Jordan automates a portion of each paycheck into a separate high-yield account until hitting 1 month of essentials, roughly $2,200. That takes about 5 months at a steady contribution rate. Once stage 2 is secured, Jordan continues the same automated transfers toward the stage 3 target of 4 months, which takes a little over a year total from the very start of this process. It's not fast, and it's not supposed to be, because it's not a race, it's a sequence, and every stage along the way is already providing real protection before the next one's even finished.
So what happens once you're fully funded, sitting at your personal 3 to 6 month target? This is genuinely one of the best financial moments you'll have, because it means every single dollar coming in from this point forward can be redirected toward growth instead of protection. Investing, additional debt payoff beyond the minimums, saving for a house, whatever your next goal actually is. The emergency fund's job is done, and it should mostly just sit there quietly doing its job in the background from here on, only touched for the actual emergencies it was built for. Let's cover the mistakes that derail this process most often, because I see the same handful repeated constantly. The first is using the fund for things that aren't actually emergencies. A vacation, a sale on something you wanted, a predictable expense you just didn't plan for. If you can see it coming, it's not an emergency.
It's a budgeting problem, and pulling from this fund for it undoes months of progress in one purchase. The second is leaving the money in a checking account or a low-yield savings account earning next to nothing, quietly losing value to inflation every single year it sits there. The third is stopping at stage 1 and calling it done, because $500 feels like a lot after living paycheck to paycheck, but it will not survive a job loss or a major medical bill, and stopping there leaves you exposed to exactly the kind of event this fund exists for. The fourth is building 6 months of cash before capturing an employer match or attacking high-interest debt, which we covered, but bears repeating because it's genuinely the most expensive mistake on this list in terms of real dollars lost. And the fifth is treating any dip in the fund as a failure instead of exactly what it's designed for. If you pull $400 out for a real car repair, that's not falling off track. That's the entire system working exactly as intended. You simply resume the automated contributions and keep going.
So here's the full order laid out one more time. Build your $500 to $1,000 starter buffer first. Capture your full employer 401k match if you have access to one. Pay off any high-interest debt above roughly 7 or 8%. Build one full month of essential expenses. Then build out to your personal target between 3 and 6 months, based on your actual income stability and household situation. Keep it in a high-yield savings account, separate from everyday spending. And once you hit that number, let it sit and redirect everything else toward growth. Getting this order right isn't just about being financially responsible. It's about making sure every dollar you save is doing the most useful job it possibly can at that exact stage of your life. Protection first, then growth. In that order, never the other way around. If this helped you see the staged approach differently, hit subscribe, because next we're covering exactly what that growth phase actually looks like once your safety net is fully built.